a life of new adulthood, of responsibility and of accountability. Gone are the days when you got the support you needed from your family, friends, peers and patrons. The society, nay the whole nation, now looks forward to you as an enlightened, educated citizen who is now poised to give to the country what it badly needs. I have firm conviction that Southeast University has done an excellent job in preparing the graduates to be great assets, not only for themselves, but for the society as a whole. True education cannot be divorced from its core values. A broad-based education always encompasses all the values that are intrinsic to one's religion and culture. At a time when the society witnesses an erosion of values, nothing can be more paramount than giving the young generation a shot in the arm which will bolster their endeavor in the right direction. I'm happy that Southeast University has the values embedded in their curriculum. It is heartening for me to learn that the university has greatly expanded within a short period of time. New departments have been opened. Students are now free to choose from diverse disciplines like business studies, textile engineering, pharmacy, law, English, economics, Islamic studies and education, to name a few. This expansion, I understand, has been possible by Southeast University as it responded squarely to the needs of our students, mostly from the middle class of our society. These students form the vast majority of learners thronging the doors of our universities. These are the students who uphold and symbolize middle class values. A good university, is always a custodian of values represented by the students. Southeast University fits perfectly into this frame. A good university must also have a universal character. It must incorporate both formal and informal education to create consciousness in the society. Life has its own challenges, quite formidable at times. We have to equip our students with honesty, integrity, discipline, discretion and judgment to sail through the turbulence of life. Our students also need to know about our glorious past and the eventful history so that they may play their due role in the future. We have to fix our eyes on a golden future. We are a unique nation, having many religions, yet the society is non-communal in character. It is multilingual and multi-ethnic, yet highly tolerant to its members. Unfortunately, the country is passing through, shall I say, the worst time in its history. Corruption has eaten up the vitals of a society and made it hollow. As a predominantly Muslim country, Bangladesh should have banished corruption altogether. We have strong institutions like family and mosques, which play an important role in defining our morals. Our people are steeped in patriotic feeling, but what we need today is a person of character who can rise above temptations of all kinds. I strongly believe that only true education can remove corruption. Knowledge is like a gem which needs to be honed and polished to make it shine and radiate light. The audience present in the hall today and those outside are aware that we have an equal stake in building a proud nation. To fulfill that goal, we must respect law and not merely give it a lip service. Society cannot progress sans law. Corruption breeds unabated when law is forced to take a back seat. The education is the measure of law prevailing in the society. Unfortunately, law is like an ineffectual angel which struggles in the void when it is trampled by the very people whose rights it envisages to protect in the first place. Perhaps law is not enough. It needs some value addition. Unless we have a strong morality which overrides all petty, selfish interests, law will always be pent, and justice will always cry in the wilderness. Therefore, I call upon the fathers of the society and the leaders, both of present and future, to make morality their first plea and include it in the education system at all levels. Otherwise, our hopes and dreams will continue to be dashed and the spectre of prosperity will continue to be receding. The role that Southeast University is playing to break the impasse is commendable. It has not confined its education within its urban campus only. It has the lofty vision of spreading the light of education far and wide to reach people of all classes and color. The philosophy is, go near the students when they cannot come near the university. The dreamer of this lofty ideal is, of course, Professor Dr. M. Shamsher Ali, Vice Chancellor of Southeast University. As the founding Vice Chancellor of Open University, he was the pioneer of distance education in Bangladesh. He was years ahead of time when he could foresee the mind-blowing progress in the arena of information communication technology, ICT. He knew too well that education as a true backbone of a society must embrace the vast majority of students who sit in the sidelines just for lack of opportunities. With the help of computer, television, internet, and other modern gadgets of ICT, Southeast University is bringing education to students' doorsteps at an affordable price. We all salute this venture and wish it a grand success. This has come at a time when cities like Dhaka can no longer take the load of students aspiring for higher studies in the cities. Southeast University, under the able guidance of Professor Dr. M. Shamsher Ali, can genuinely hope to bring a revolution in this sector. The team of experts, technicians, and expertise of ICT-based education of Southeast University will soon make it a new brand for the new millennium. To conclude, I once again congratulate the young graduates. You are our future. Carry the torch of knowledge to its furthest limit. Give to the nation more than what you take from it. Face the future boldly. Pursue the highest levels of excellence. Climb the ladder and contribute in reshaping our lives. Thank you, and my blessings are with you. Allah Hafiz.
The graduating students will now be presented to the Chancellor by the respective deans. First, I request Professor Dr. Syed Masood Hussain, Dean of the School of Business Studies, to present his candidates to the Honorable Chancellor.
We have 288 candidates for the Master of Business Administration and 234 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Honorable Chancellor, I, on behalf of the School of Business Studies, certify to you that these students have fulfilled all the conditions and requirements prescribed for the degree for which they are candidates. I request all the candidates for the degrees of Master of Business Administration and Bachelor of Business Administration to please rise. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I request Professor Dr. Abul Kalam Azad
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, you would be pleased to know that in the School of Arts and Social Sciences, we have got a total of 233 candidates who will be receiving degrees in this convocation. Out of that, 20 candidates will receive degrees as Master of Law and 130 candidates will receive degrees as Master of Arts in Islamic Studies. 36 candidates will get Bachelor of Law degree with honors, while 11 candidates will be awarded simple Bachelor of Law degree. Another 33 candidates will receive Bachelor of Arts degree with honors in Islamic Studies, and 3 candidates will be awarded Bachelor of Education degree. Honorable Chancellor, with your kind permission, I, as the Dean of the School of Arts and Social Sciences, do hereby certify to your gracious honor that these students have duly fulfilled all the requirements and conditions prescribed for the degrees for which they are candidates. Now, I request all the candidates for the degrees of Master of Law, Master of Arts in Islamic Studies, Bachelor of Law, Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Studies, and Bachelor of Education to please rise. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now request Professor Dr. R.I. Sharif, Dean, School of Science and Engineering, to kindly present the candidates of the School of Science and Engineering.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We have 46 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science Engineering and 14 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information and Communication Engineering. Honorable Senator, I, on behalf of the School of Science and Engineering, certify to you that these students have fulfilled all the conditions and requirements described for the degree for which they are candidates. I request all the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science and Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering and Information and Communication Engineering to please rise. Thank you.
I humbly request the Honorable Chancellor to kindly confer the degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of the University, I hereby confer degrees upon each of you, the degree of Bachelor and the degree of Master, respectively, in the respective subject as presented to me by the Deans of the University, with all the rights and privileges, honors and responsibilities pertaining hereto, and charge you that by your conduct and character you will prove yourself worthy of the same.
Thank you, Honorable Chancellor. Students, you may sit now.
Honorable Chancellor of the Southeast Asian University, Professor Dr. Yazuddin Ahmed, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, respected Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Shamshir Ali, distinguished Convocation Speaker, Justice Mustafa Kamal, respected Chairman of the Board of Governors, distinguished guests, my dear graduating students and their proud parents. Assalamu alaikum. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be present here on this impressive occasion when students and the university which had nurtured them for these years record before the world their rites of passage, which is a universal practice. This is indeed a solemn occasion when promises are renewed and new challenges are identified. As you know, the demand for higher education has increased substantially in Bangladesh. It is only rightly so because Bangladesh is rapidly developing. Our students who come from all corners of the country are very eager, and so are their parents, for quality higher education. While it is the primary responsibility of the government to provide education to its citizens in this particular sphere, it is also important that given our limited resources, the private sector is identified as an appropriate partner in providing this quality education. And I must congratulate Southeast Asian University and the private universities in Bangladesh for having responded to this challenge and become a very important partner for the government in the quest for a highly educated citizenry. As we all know, Bangladesh is entering into new stages of its history where it is not enough just to get education. We must ensure that it is quality education that our students are receiving. And I am impressed with the achievements that Southeast Asian University has achieved within its brief tenure so far. And as the Vice Chancellor indicated, that it is on this particular mission to ensure quality education in newer fields which they are embarked upon and which they will continue. This is the second convocation ceremony of the university. The university, I think in particular the Vice Chancellor, as he indicated, has identified one particular aspect of higher education which requires priority attention in Bangladesh. That has to do with the use of information and communication technologies in the spread of education to our wider citizenry. It is an issue of great policy importance, and the Ministry of Education is addressing the issue with utmost seriousness. Some may be a bit concerned with the speed at which we are progressing, but I think if we all put our heads together and together with our common wisdom, we will find the appropriate policy approach so that the benefits of ICT are deployed effectively for the spread of higher education. And I would again congratulate the Vice Chancellor himself, both in his current position and his previous avatar as the Vice Chancellor of the Open University, in taking a leading role in this particular area. I think it is important also to emphasize on this occasion that universities impart not only tangible education but also intangible education. That is what the convocation speaker mentioned, value addition. It is both the tangibles and the intangibles with which the students will now go out and meet the challenges of the new life which confronts them. And I think as a whole, it is very important for us to continuously focus on these intangible issues also, because it is what makes a whole person. And I think for our graduating students, I would urge that they also go out not just as a technically competent person, but as an enriched human being who can lead in all sectors of life, both in their specific professional areas, but in all other areas where society may need their inputs. Many see, for the graduating students, what I would say, as you go out from today into a new life, many tend to see only uncertainties in Bangladesh. What I would urge you all is to try to discover the potentialities. Because I can assure you, Bangladesh is full of potentialities. Together with your efforts and the efforts of universities, of the government, of all sectors of society, we, Bangladesh, will surely achieve the future it richly deserves. I would again wish the graduating students all success in their life and congratulate the university and all concerned with it for bringing this particular point to pass. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Islam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged and delighted to have with us His Excellency Professor Dr. Yajuddin Ahmed, the Honorable President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh and Chancellor Southeast University on this great occasion. Now I humbly request Professor Dr. Yajuddin Ahmed to kindly address the convocation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Advisor, Dr. Hussain Tilur Rahman, Honorable Convocation Speaker, Justice Mustafa Kamal, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Southeast University, Dr. M. Shamsir Ali, Honorable Chairman of EZC, Honorable Vice Chancellor of other universities, distinguished members of the Board of Governors, distinguished teachers, distinguished guests, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I am indeed very happy to be present amongst you at the solemn ceremony on the occasion of conferring degrees upon the graduating students through the convocation. At the outset of my speech, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the new graduates who have crowned with glory after completing arduous tasks. I also express my sincere felicitation to the parents of the graduates as well as the university authority for their collective endeavors to make this event into a reality. I hope this formal acknowledgement would usher a new horizon and help in building up the careers of the graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Bangladesh is a land of immense potentials. Its boundless natural beauties, including the hilly forest, unbroken longest sea beach, the mangrove Sundarbans, rich archaeological sites, and cultural and ethnic diversities are invaluable properties and source of our inspirations. From time immemorial, people from around the globe visited this land, luring into its endless beauty and natural resources. The people of the world community have extolled by observing the warm hospitality and generosity extended by our venerated people. We feel honored for having our rich and glorious nation. Our potential human resources, professionals both at home and abroad, are putting their creativity and sincere endeavors and have acclaimed huge reputation from the world community. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh is not only endowed with natural beauty and diverse culture, but also enriched with knowledge and excellence. Great Buddhist author Sri Atish Dipankar noted scientists are Jagadish Chandra Bose, poet Joshimati, artist Jamal Abdin, folk singer Abbasuddin, architect Eba Khan, Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus are some of the souls of the art who have glorified themselves